All right, what is going on, everybody? A few minutes past the hour here. Sorry for the late start. Jesse will be joining us shortly, we think. So hopefully, yes, it is 8:24. It is Kobe Bryant Day. Dan has his, or Sully has his 24 jersey. So we're definitely looking forward to celebrating that with a great show. Before we get started with any of what's going to happen, let's get into our super highlight video, and maybe when we get back from it, we'll have another host. We'll see.
Jordan. Oh, a spectacular move by Michael Jordan. Drives one out to deep left field. This one's got a chance to get out of here. Gone! Three-run Jimmy Jack first big league home run for Mike Trout.
Pass is intercepted at the goal line by Malcolm Butler.
And an 81-point game, 55 in the second half. Ladies and gentlemen, you have witnessed the second greatest scoring performance in NBA history.
What's going on, everybody? Since Jesse's not on the screen, I'm your host, Wayne G, joined, as always, by Sully.
What's good, y'all? What's poppin'?
Yeah, sometimes Jesse.
Sometimes, Jesse, if he feels like making it, you know what I mean?
Yeah, let's see if he gets on here. In the meantime, just obviously how we start our show, we love to talk about the fact that you are watching us live on Facebook. This is every Monday and Wednesday. We are live on Facebook, either on the RTF page or on the Infinity Sports page. We also have a YouTube channel, so you can find our YouTube channel. We're live there right now as well. So 3 different places to catch us live. And if you do, actually tomorrow, I'm actually going to pull up the graphics here since I've been working on them and I've been complaining about them for a little while.
Finally got these going.
Finally got them going here. Tuesdays and Thursdays, 1 p.m. Eastern time on the rtfsportsnetwork.com. You can also find us on iTunes, Spotify, and Stitcher. And if you want to watch the video, which I highly recommend, we do have a YouTube channel and the shows are on there. So we click over here and there's our third host.
Hey, what's poppin', fam?
Sorry, fellas. Sorry about that.
Yeah,
Hey.
man, it's cool. I get it. Commitment and, punctuality. Who cares about those things, right?
Fashionably late. Yeah, every other episode I'm sitting here wearing a shirt and tie, but yeah, punctuality and professionalism.
Yeah, exactly.
So if you want to reach out to us, we are interactive. You can find us on Facebook at Infinity Sports Podcast, Instagram at Infinity Sports Podcast, Twitter at Sports Infinity 5, and on our website, www.infinitysportspodcast.com. If you go there, it has links to all of our social media and YouTube. It has our email, so you can email us directly. You can email the show. It has the show email. So definitely, hit us up with any questions or whatnot that you have.
Whoa, I didn't sign no waiver for that, Wayne. What's going on with you? You're just giving away my personal information like that, huh?
Dan's social security number is also on there.
Yeah, like Jesus.
Now, if you visit the website, www.infinitysportspodcast.com, we do have a store up now. That's something new. I didn't expect to get that up for a little while, but there is great merchandise, including 12 is greater than 9 apparel, which everyone
you got that up pretty fast, Wayne.
I did, yeah. Everyone's been asking for the 12 is greater than 9. I literally, I'm not even joking. I had like 7 or 8 requests right off the bat before I even started the page. Like, hey, where can I get a 12 is greater than 9 shirt? I said, well, I'll put shirts, I'll put long sleeves, hoodies, zip ups, everything, and we'll do the regular Infinity logo as well. If we come up with anything else catchy to say, maybe like a T-shirt says the news.
To be fair,
we can do a whole bunch of them. So definitely visit the site. You can buy all that stuff. They ship it to your house. It's drop shipping, so it doesn't come to us, and then we have to ship it out to you. It goes straight to you. So pick your sizes and have fun with it. Now,
Pick your poison.
So, as usual, we have a great show, and some of the things we're going to be talking about here, we are not going to Matt Damon, Jesse this week. We are going to do Hall of Fame NBA edition. We are going to do an Infinity 5, which is fast food related. That should be fun. And the first thing we're going to do is kind of a long segment because a lot's been happening since the last week that we were on or so. So let's kick things off with the news. All right, so just like last week, I do want to point out that the beef is still going on between To Be Blunt and Infinity Sports. It has not ended. It has not wavered at all. And we thought, since Sal decided to take some shots at us on his show in retaliation to what we were saying about him, although his shots were very weak, to say the least.
I was going to ask, Wayne, did they even respond?
Yeah, they did. They came on and he was like, I'm not even going to say the show's name. And, they were saying something about us, but I'm not going to bring it up. And I'm like, okay, this is weak. Like,
tough.
That's what we expect. So I thought, given how weak the response was and how much we've just been pounding them, I should put together a nice campaign ad, right, about why people should not be voting or watching that dumpster fire of a show and should be watching
people aren't
ours
sick
instead.
of political ads.
Exactly. Yeah. So political ads are great. I made up one here. Please bear with me. This is our political ad about the internet beef currently going on.
Sal Peezy Pugilaris, a man who lies about his radio experience. A man who lies about the number of views he gets every week. A man who has struggled with second grade math since he was in the second grade. When choosing your podcast this year, choose not to listen to Sal Pugilaris' Dumpster Fire.
I'm Wayne G., and I approve this message.
There we go. I don't know how you can argue with that.
Bruh, that was so good. I'm so happy right now. That was so good. That was legitimately funny, and I'm really glad you did it. The show's terrible. Let's be real. But, that just makes it even better.
Yeah, for sure. And one of the things, like I said, I didn't want to skip over some of the things that people might have missed. Obviously, we got some images here. Sal's experience in radio, when he says he has radio experience. He was a janitor at WTIC, 1080 in Connecticut. This is his badge. So apparently, since he knows how to use a plunger, he is good at giving advice on shows.
He's like Drake. He started from the bottom, and now he's here.
I guess. Apparently, this is here for Sal.
And then, of course, we had his second grade homework here. We can see he misspelled his name at first, and so we had to erase that. And it looks like he got them all right, except for 12 is great. He has 9 is greater than 12. So the teacher here says, no, Sal, 12 is greater than 9. So I understand that makes sense now.
That makes total sense.
For all you RTF listeners, that this may be the last time you hear us on RTF because Sal's really, really good buddies with Michael, and he has a really good knack for crying. So,
although Mike and
go ahead.
Mike and the Man Hours seem to agree that 12 is greater than 9. So
well they didn't fail math. They may fail language arts, but they didn't fail math.
Now, I have my This Day in Sports history because it is the news, and I know that was the first bit of news, and it kind of like everything else is kind of a downer from here, I guess. But we do have This Day in History. We'll go through them today. Obviously, 8/24. It's Kobe Bryant Day. Sully's wearing his Lakers jersey. Obviously, great to see the Lakers tonight are going to be wearing the Black Mamba jerseys in honor. So I hope they get the win. In those jerseys.
Jesse? Do you know the spread tonight?
I do not.
All right, go on then. I'll figure it out. Because whatever it is, I'm telling you, folks, take the spread. They're crushing the Blazers tonight. If they lose on Mamba, there's no way in hell. LeBron's got that mentality. He's not losing on Mamba Day.
Nope.
Better not.
And on August 20th is where I kind of started back. 1915, I was reading about this trade in Major League Baseball. The Chicago White Sox sent Robert Roth, Larry Chappell, Ed Klepfer, and $31,500 in a trade. And I thought, well, who did they trade for? The Cleveland Indians, Joe Jackson, right? Now, obviously, Shoeless Joe Jackson, one of the great all-timers, should be in the Hall of Fame. But I thought, wow, they gave up a lot. Back then, I think just players were players. It isn't like you were trading Barry Bonds for somebody. You were just trading like a body for a body. And so they gave up 3 guys and cash to get Joe Jackson. So I decided to look at how he did in Cleveland before he went to the White Sox. And he hit 387, 408, 395, 373. And he had 4 consecutive seasons over 1,000 OPS.
Yeah, Joe Jackson was sneaky good, and people just, don't remember, I think, how great he was because of the scandal. But, the guy was incredibly talented.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And I see we are joined by our friends over at Triple Shot Sports. They love the political ad, I'm guessing.
Hey, we like it, boys. We like it.
So that was Joe Jackson. August 20th, 1974, Nolan Ryan throws a pitch recorded at 162 kilometers per hour. It works out to 100.4 miles per hour, which when you compare it to like Aroldis Chapman doesn't seem that big of a deal. But just the fact that back in the 70s and basically through the 90s when he was 45 years old, he was still hitting 102, 101 on the radar gun.
Yeah, that kind of gas back then I'm sure it was unreal to even be at the plate.
I mean, it kind of just, I think, more supports the theory that if guys were actually throwing 199 back then, that they'd have the same kind of strikeout numbers, and they don't. So
we've got Dwight Gooden, 1985, becomes the first pitcher ever in the National League to start his first 2 years with 200 Ks. And I thought that was a win. Like 1985, 200 Ks for your first 2 years. Like I know it's an obscure statistic, but the fact that in 1984 he became the 11th rookie to get 200 Ks. So that means the other 10 guys didn't get 200 strikeouts the second season.
I mean, 200 Ks is a lot. It's not, it's not just a number to not be sniffed at. It's kind of the benchmark for like a great kind of strikeout pitcher on a season. So I do think that's kind of crazy that it had never been hit, but I mean, it's also not like an extremely easy thing to do.
We also have Triple Shot Sports. That campaign video just gained my vote, better than the Yahoos we have running for office now.
Well, that ain't no lie either. We're in a rock and a hard place right now, folks. So.
We have August 20th, 1991. Dan Marino tops Joe Montana in salary by signing a 5-year, $25 million extension. I know I'm not going to spend a lot of time talking about how money has increased since then, but what I do want to talk about is, in my opinion, and this is a tough one, right, is Joe Montana prior to Brady, Montana's the best quarterback of all time. I honestly think that Dan Marino was a better quarterback than Joe Montana. He didn't win the Super Bowls, but as a pure pocket passer, I think he's twice what Montana was.
I think that's two different things, though. I think a better quarterback and a more talented quarterback are kind of two different things. And personally, because I think Aaron Rodgers is probably the most talented thrower we've ever seen of the football, but I don't think he's the best quarterback of all time. So I don't know. I get your point, though. I really do. I think Joe Montana gets a lot of hype for being on those crazy winning teams. And then, I mean, you talk about help. That guy had a lot of help. So I can totally understand your argument.
There's a couple NBA players that come to mind when I think of guys that don't have championships, like Barkley, Ewing, Malone. And then there's certainly a couple NFL players that are right up there as far as they don't have a ring, but they're still amongst the greatest of all time. Marino and Moss are right up there.
Marino not having one is a travesty, though. I mean, I think it's such a shame.
Sounds like the Dolphins are going to have fans, Sully.
Yeah, it looks like 13,000, man. That's, I don't know. What the fuck?
So then they're going to be the next Cardinals. They'll go 4 weeks without a game.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, what is happening?
All right. August 20th, 2000, Tiger Woods becomes the first person to win 3 majors in a calendar year since Ben Hogan. He would then win the Masters the following year to win the Tiger Slam. I don't count it as a Grand Slam. I think Tiger Slam is fine, but it's not a Grand Slam. You got to do all 4 in one calendar year, I think.
Sounds like a gentleman's sweep.
Yeah, it's 4 in a row, but it's not.
Fancy way of saying I missed one.
Yeah, I agree. It's a shame that he never got one, like technically, but yeah, you can't really count it. Like you can call it a Tiger Slam, but it's not an actual Grand Slam.
Well, the only person I believe to win a Grand Slam in a calendar year is Bobby Jones. But back then it was the amateur, the U.S. amateur, the U.S. Open, the British amateur, the British Open. Mm-hmm. So
I know it's a little different, but it's all we can go by. But I mean, don't get me wrong, winning the 3 is just still stupid insane. I mean, that's so hard to do.
Now, another Nolan Ryan statistic in 1989, August 21st, he records his 5,000th strikeout. It was Rickey Henderson was the victim. And obviously Rickey Henderson, quite the Hall of Famer himself. But again, 5,000 strikeouts. I argue all the time with people about Nolan Ryan, and I think that, people's like, oh, he's not even a top 20 pitcher of all time and things like that. I'm like, the guy, I understand he walked a lot of guys, but he struck out a lot of guys. He won a lot of games. He lost a lot of games. But at the end of the day, I would have no problem whatsoever putting Nolan Ryan on the mound in a Game 7.
The longevity machine.
Yeah, he was a longevity machine. He also gave up a lot of runs. and that's a product of letting people on base and then throwing really hard and then people hitting home runs. I understand that. And don't get me wrong. I think he's an extremely talented pitcher. I mean, not in the top 20 is insane. I could maybe understand the argument for not top 10, but I mean, I probably have him in my 10. So I get it both ways, to be honest with you. I think there are a lot of talented pitchers out there. I'm going to take Johnson, Maddox, Pedro way before I take Nolan Ryan. Way before Bob Gibson too, honestly, before I take Nolan Ryan. So.
Yeah, give me Pedro on the mound, Game 7.
Well, and Koufax too, and we talk about Koufax.
Yeah,
he's kind of like the anti-Nolan Ryan with the fact that he had such a short career, but dominated for when he played.
The peak was so high, you know what I mean? That he was so fucking dominant.
Is he the best Dodger pitcher of all time?
Oh
yeah. Yeah. Kershaw's playoff legacy is going to hurt him a lot. And that's, I think, where his issue comes in, and where Koufax is still going to stay on top.
Problem with him is a Game 7, you don't know which identity is showing up. So yeah, if you don't know whether he's going to walk 11 guys or he's going to strike out 17.
And that's kind of, and I agree completely with Triple Shot there. I mean, you don't know really what you're going to get with Nolan. Yeah, you could get that ace boon coon, but you also could get the guy who's going to walk 7 and give up 6 in 4 innings. You know what I mean? So
TSS bringing the knowledge. So we got to know that's Chad.
What's up, Chad? That's why the show's called Shots Fired. That's why the episode was called. So my next thing is actually the guy that Nolan Ryan was kind of nicknamed after. Nolan Ryan was the Express. Walter Johnson was the Train, because he was the guy that could throw 100 miles per hour way back in the day. And so on August 21st, or August 22nd.
Against who?
Yeah, 100 miles an hour.
Yeah. 1942, Walter
Wayne
Johnson.
was there to see it, Sully.
I was, yeah. I witnessed it firsthand. I caught him. Walter Johnson pitches against Babe Ruth in a pregame, kind of like a undercard. He pitches to Babe Ruth in front of 69,000 people. They raise $80,000 for the Army Navy Relief Fund. So kind of a cool thing there. I mean, that's quite the matchup, Walter Johnson versus Babe Ruth. It's in the 40s, so they're both well over their prime, but that's pretty solid.
I was going to actually ask you where they were in their peaks or their careers.
Yeah, I think they would have both had to have been 50 at that point, honestly.
Well, not in 42. I mean, Ruth was probably right around 40. But I'm just saying, like, that's interesting to me, even because I think of, like, imagine if they did an undercard like that for baseball now, where you had to say, hey, guys, before the game, if you tune in like 15 minutes before the game, we got Greg Maddux pitching to Barry Bonds. Like, I'll watch that.
Hell
Yeah, I'd watch that too.
Let's see, 1993, David Justice and Fred McGriff go back-to-back in the same game. So twice. So that's kind of cool. Yeah. Justice hits a home run, McGriff hits a home run. A couple innings later, Justice hits a home run, McGriff hits a home run.
Isn't McGriff's nickname like Crime Dog? Or
yeah, buddy.
Yeah.
He was a Tampa Bay Ray for a little while.
Solid player. Very underrated player. I think he has 500 career home runs.
Yeah, extremely underrated player. I mean, you never hear him talked about with the greats. And, I mean, I don't think he is, that upper echelon guy, but I do think he's extremely underrated.
Let's see here.
You got some great lighting, Sully.
Oh, thank you, man. I appreciate that.
Yes.
I think it's glaring the forehead a bit, but everything does. So.
I'm like right under the sun right now.
Yesterday was Kobe Bryant's birthday, so he would have been 42. He's a year older than I am. So obviously, I think we all still feel it, especially with Kobe Bryant Day being the following day, 8/24. So definitely kind of surreal. We won't spend too much time on it. I will go into something that Sully should know. August 24th, that's today, 1989, Pete Rose is banned for life from Major League Baseball.
Yeah, and unfortunately, as we all know, he's still I should say they were about 50. Thank you, Chad, coming in again, man.
I think Chad should do the power rankings for baseball.
Absolutely. Who would be more Cubs up there?
And unfortunately, he's still at bam.
Chad, on the money. Thank you, buddy.
Bam, get out of here. And by the way, Triple Shot Sports let us know that Babe Ruth was 47 and Walter Johnson was 49.
Yeah, for those of you not watching but listening.
Yes, for those of you not watching but listening, non-visual cues.
Nicely done, Sully.
Yeah, I got you guys. Yeah, Pete Rose is still banned, and honestly, like we said with Joe Jackson, it's a shame. Hopefully, it's eventually changed. You can't have the Hit King not in the Hall of Fame. It's just a shame. Regardless of how I feel about the guy, it's a bummer.
If he's not in, none of these Astros get in.
Right? None of these steroid guys get in. Like, it just doesn't make sense. None of these greeny guys should have got in. Like, I don't know. It's just whatever.
Slippery slope.
And what better on Kobe Bryant Day, 8/24, than to be reminded that the disappointing, horrible embarrassment that was the 2004 Olympic basketball team was redeemed in 2008 on August 24th by adding Kobe Bryant and winning the gold medal to beat Spain.
Hell yeah.
And the Gasol brothers, too, who he was super close to. So that must have been a heated final.
Oh, I'm sure. That's a good Spain team, too. The Gasol brothers, Rubio, I think probably Carlos Arroyo or some of those guys.
No, Carlos Arroyo is Argentinian, isn't he? Yeah. I could be wrong, but...
Now, getting into some of the sports news, I wanted to start off with the NHL, because we do have the NHL...
Let's do that, Wayne. Let's start with the Bruins, buddy.
Yes, I have the Bruins actually second, but that's fine. The Bruins win 1-0 in Tampa Bay. They're
3-2.
3-2. I'm sorry. So they're up 1-0. Okay.
Yes,
that's right. So they're up 1-0 in Tampa Bay. Obviously, you're the Bruins fan, Jesse. Sully's the Tampa Bay fan. I'm the basketball fan. So
fan. It was a really, really good game. Again, not having Tuukka coming into the series.
So Triple Shot Sports says, how do you let a guy like Ty Cobbin and say your moral line is drawn at Pete Rose?
Yeah, agreed. I mean, again, we could talk about that for a long, long time. Ty Cobbin, known racist and a piece of shit, and was out there genuinely hurting teammate or players, and yet he's in. And then Pete Rose bet on his own team to win a game. But, anyway. Go on, Jesse, about Boston.
Yeah, man. So getting to last night's game, I had my eyeballs on the screen. I thought it was a really, really good game. Victor Hedman certainly showed up for the Lightning. He ended up pouring in 2 goals for the Bolts. But, Pasta did what he did. It was great to see him back on the ice. He's one of the better scorers in the entire league. So Bruins took that early lead. They took it down in Tampa because during that round robin for reseeding, they actually went from the 1st seed down to the 4th seed. So they ended up taking that game, I say down in Tampa, but what was considered to be, Tampa's home game. But, good start to the series. I know, Sully, you were watching.
Yeah, there's no real home ice, but yeah, I get it. I was watching, and like Jesse said, it was a great game. Boston special teams, played well for them. They scored, I believe, if I remember correctly, all 3 goals were on the power play. So, Lightning came back strong, and again, I'm not really too disappointed with how we played. Yes, we lost, but to come back the way we did, Boston was on their heels at the end of that game. We could have very well tied it and taken that into overtime. And if we just tighten up and don't allow the special teams goals, I think we'll be all right. Honestly, I think the bigger shocker was Dallas putting the hurting on Colorado. Colorado was so hot. I mean, that team was lightning on fire. They couldn't miss the goal for the first round of the series. And then Dallas came in, and Dallas is not a notoriously high scoring team, and put it on them. I did not see that at all. I honestly thought Colorado may get out of there with a sweep. Obviously that's not going to happen. So I thought that was pretty shocking. Vegas doing Vegas things, just putting the hurting on the Canucks. That's going to be a sweep. Yeah, that's going to be a sweep.
5 goals ain't no joke.
Vegas is really good. It's really good. I made a power rankings for RTF where I had Tampa 1 and Colorado 2, and then both of them lose. And then Vegas, looks completely dominant. And, they're just such a deep team. They play such good hockey in general, just such good team hockey. They're going to be tough to beat. I'm really excited to see tonight's matchup. The Flyers is an interesting team to watch. They didn't have the easiest time with the Canadians. Carter Hart got pulled in game 2, but then they were able to get out of there. So I'm interested to see where they go from here.
Yeah, the 5-0 game. Vegas. You look at the goals scored and you think, wow, what an amazing offense. But their goalie had a standout game too. And again, in the Bruins Lightning game for 3-2, you wouldn't think, oh man, the goalies did great. some of the saves that both these goalies made, I thought were crazy. I mean, there was a span there where Halak was dancing on his head. So I'm really having fun with playoff hockey. We both predicted it's going to be one of the better times we're going to have right now.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I said Boston was going to be in a little trouble with no Tuukka Rask, and Halak's standing on his head right now and playing great hockey. I mean, he's going to have to keep that going, obviously. And like you said, the offensive chances are going to come in today's game. Every team right now, especially, I mean, they score, and that's kind of a consistent theme, with exception of Dallas usually. But they score, and they score at a high clip. Vancouver too, and so Vegas to hold Vancouver to a shutout, like you mentioned, that was nuts. So I'm really excited. It's so much fun. It's the best. It's literally the best moment in sports.
Triple Shot says, "Gotta run, Sully and Wayne. Keep doing your thing. You guys have a great show."
What a dick.
Was the last bit of hockey news that I had. Wasn't playoff related. I had
no shot, Jesse.
No, I mean, I'm sure he's going to go prep for his show, but all his shows suck.
So is that I saw that Ovechkin and the Capitals were at an impasse on a new contract or an extension or something like that.
Yeah.
And somebody said something to the effect of this, well, could the possibility exist of him going to Pittsburgh and playing on the same line as Malkin and Crosby?
I mean, I guess I don't know. I'd have to look at the cap situation. I don't know it in depth right now. I don't know where Pittsburgh is and things like that, and how money strapped. Fear.
Skippy there, Sully.
We back?
Put the
Yeah, you got you back.
All right. I would think I mean, like, I don't know what I was heard, but, hockey, a lot of things can happen. You could move money around, and they could possibly make it happen. That would be insanely scary. It would obviously be kind of a 1 to 2 year run. All three of them are in the twilight of their careers, but I still think, I mean, that's obviously the scariest line in hockey if they're all healthy.
Now, getting away from hockey, I figure getting to some baseball. More bad news for Jesse. The Red Sox become the first team to lose 20 games in the season, and their payroll is still $177 million. So I'm seeing all these Red Sox fans. I'm not a huge Red Sox fan. I mean, I'll root for them if they're on TV, but I don't really care one way or the other. But I see all these fans going bananas, and we got to blow it up. We got to start trading everybody and trying to get prospects in here. And I'm like, dude, it's a shortened season. Like, you're lucky to even have a season. If we didn't have a season, would you be saying that? Like, who cares? I lost 20 games, whatever.
Yeah, I think that if anybody came into this season, whether it was a shorter season or a regular 182 game season, 162, sorry, no matter what, the Red Sox weren't going to be going for first in the division. They weren't going to be going for a title. I mean, people, had to look at this team and the makeup of the team and know that we weren't going for a championship this season. So I think, losing Mookie should have kind of been a huge flag for some people to know. Let's lower expectations. So we have some young guys now. We have Verdugo, who's actually doing pretty well. We actually got him in the Mookie Betts trade. We're going to see some other young kids come up in the works. But like you said, there's no reason for the majority of those fans to be, bursting at the seams now for anybody to be blowing it up. I think blowing it up is what got them in the sticky position in the first place. And now, while you're at it, while the Sox are last in the division, who's first, Sully?
Yeah, that's goddamn right they are. Tampa Bay Rays are, baby. Let's go. Yeah, no, I agree. Boston's just in a rough spot. I mean, they unfortunately have a very high payroll, and it's not paying off. Their pitching is awful. I mean, their pitching is really bad. And that's just got them in.
Maybe there's some poor weather in Florida. Sully didn't let us know about.
No,
Yep, skipped again.
All right, we here?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
gotcha.
Yeah, we do have 2 hurricanes in the Gulf of Mexico. If you haven't heard, it's the first time ever in the history of the world that has happened. So yeah, that's pretty gnarly. Now they're both just tropical storms. It's not a big deal, but yeah, it's still pretty crazy. So that could be affecting my Wi-Fi. I apologize. But Boston's pitching staff is atrocious. It's just bad. I'm glad Jesse mentioned any real Boston fan. and took a look at their roster and thought they were going to make a run when you looked at the Yankees roster or the Rays roster, and thought they were actually going to make a run in that division was nutso. The Rays pitching staff and bullpen is insanely good and insanely deep. The Yankees lineup is stupid good. And their pitching staff is elite at the top. So, I mean, I just don't Boston losing 20 is kind of surprising, but at the same time, like, this essentially was a rebuilding year. Don't go blow up what you got. Continue to the path. You got Alex Verdugo, who looks like a stud. I mean, the guy looks incredibly talented. For one, he's a defensive ace. And he's hitting the ball very well. He's got I think a 360 on base percentage, which, for a rookie, you love that. Excuse me. So I think they're trending, the wrong way kind of in the season, but the right way overall. So they just got to find pitching. I do agree there. They got to find some pitching.
I did look at the payroll and I was trying to figure out who was sucking up all of the money in the payroll. And basically, obviously, Chris Sale at $30 million. But when I got to Dustin Pedroia at $14 million a year, it's like, I think he's only got like 17 or 18 more years left on that deal, though.
Yeah, just a couple.
He's so bad.
Baseball deals are so bad when that's why, don't get me wrong, everybody knows I love Mike Trout. You can't sign guys for 12 years. What happens if Mike Trout dies tomorrow? Not literally, but you know what I'm saying? And it's just, you can't be tied in for that kind of money for that long to these guys.
I'm actually glad you brought up Mike Trout because the Angels also have lost 20 games. So, they're 11 games behind in that division, the last in the division. Is Trout wasting away in Anaheim?
Oh, yeah. I mean, he's Barry Sanders. He's Calvin Johnson. He's Dan Marino at this point. It's just – I don't know. I thought Joe Madden would be able to put a solid ball club around him. And, it looked like they had decent talent around him. But, again, the pitching staff is letting them down. So
yeah, because, at 9-20, guys, we're halfway through the 60-game season right now.
Yeah.
So, these teams know who they are at this point.
If Mike Trout never wins a ship, but stays on his same WAR career path and stats career path, is he the best of all time?
Sure, why not? Barry Bonds didn't win a ring.
Yeah, okay. I just wanted to check how you felt.
Yeah, rings weigh differently in different sports, I feel.
I agree. I think baseball rings are a little different just because it's such a team sport.
Yeah.
But individual accolades are so heavily important, so it's really weird in that sport.
Now, looking through the standings, I saw obviously the Rays are in first place, the Twins are in first place. What I love about the Twins in first place is they have one of my favorite players. We talk about underrated players. How about Nelson Cruz leading the Major League Baseball in OPS, switch hit power? Every time I see this guy come up as a free agent, I'm like, man, somebody should sign this guy, and he ends up getting a 1 or 2 year deal for $10 million per. I'm like, this guy just rakes. That's what he does. That's all he does.
I can't believe he's still in the league, but yeah, he is just doing what he does.
Well, that's why every year everybody thinks, well, this is going to be the year he doesn't rake. And, because he is, I'm pretty sure he's 36 now.
Yeah, he's getting up there.
And so it's eventually you got to think the guy's going to not rake. But, it's baseball. And all he does is get up there and hit, and then he sits down. And then he gets up and he hits, and he sits down. He's literally a career DH. I don't know. I'd sign the guy. Like Wayne says, all he does is rake. The guy just mashes the baseball.
Did you guys see that the Dodgers are the only team to not lose a series so far?
Oh, I didn't see that. It's an interesting statistic.
Thought that was pretty neat. Yeah, for an odd statistic guy like you, Wayne, them being, again, halfway through their season, they've yet to lose a series.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
They're so good.
They are, and I know that they're number one in Brandon's power rankings, which I guess, the Dodgers, they should be. The team that actually surprised me in their division is actually the Padres at 18-12. What a really good young team. And this is a team that I think is going to be some trouble, in a full season, with that lineup. They're just so good. 18-12, if they were not in the West, they'd be the second place team in the National League.
Yeah, they've been amazing so far. It's not just that one news blip that we saw with Fernando Tatis that, should be getting them, eyeballs on the screen. The Padres are doing amazing things. I think they're the first team ever to hit 4 Grand Slams or have 4 games with 4 Grand Slams, Grand Slam in each. So really an awesome young team. I think this is kind of what some of us had predicted the Braves to do. The Braves aren't doing this hot in their own division, so the Padres are doing really amazing, above expectations.
Fernando Tatis is just everything you want when you watch baseball. He's so fun to watch. He's crushing the ball. He plays insane defense. Did you see that catch he had on Carlos Correa's shallow fly ball in left field? I say shallow. It literally, it's a left fielder's catch. Like, he makes that play 9 times out of 10. Fernando Tatis is out there making a leaping, like, over the head. It was so sick. And he makes it look just routine. And he's also mashing grand slams. He's stealing third, up 6-0. I love it. They're good. I mean, they're talented. Manny Machado, everybody forgets how great really Manny Machado can be and was at one point, and he's playing kind of that way again. They're so much fun to watch. I'm loving every second of that.
Now, the getting into the NBA, I predicted my power rankings for the NBA going into the playoffs. Even I had guys from work, because they know we do the podcast. They tune in. They're hitting me up. They're like, Wayne, because they're all Celtics fans, right? And I'm a Lakers fan, but they're like, hey, Wayne, what do you think the Celtics are going to do in the series against Philadelphia? I said they're going to win 4-1. And they're like, even when Hayward got hurt, I'm like, yeah, I would say 4-1. I'd sweep 4-1. I don't think they lose more than a game. And then they come out and sweep Philadelphia, which is what they should have done. I mean, I keep saying it, and I can't say it enough. They are the best coached team in the NBA playoffs right now. Brad Stevens is the best coach in the NBA playoffs. And he's got that young team that's completely bought into the system, that's super athletic, but plays in control. Teams that athletic don't play that much in control. It's just, this is a team who's to be reckoned with. And my next prediction is 4-2 over the Raptors. It's not even going to be a great series. I think the Celtics are going to beat the Raptors 4-2.
I think you're out of your mind at that point. I think you're getting a little Skip Bayless, a little ahead of yourself. I think when you're looking at the 76ers squad, they were Simmons-less. Al Horford's been a shell of himself ever since he signed with that team. So the Celtics should have done what they did against the 76ers. But we saw what the Raptors did, and they've got a great depth. They've got a really good young coach as well. I'm not going to put him up there with Brad Stevens yet, but Brad Stevens is really the best coach to not win anything yet. I think it's going to be a much better series than we saw for both teams last series, but ain't no way you're seeing a 4-2 win for the Celtics. I think it's going 7 games, and I don't see any way the Celtics win this series.
I don't know if I'd go that far. I think it's going 7, and flip a coin. Who's ever going to? I think at this point it's a kind of toss-up series. I'm waiting for something to change the series. Somebody gets hurt. Yeah, somebody gets hurt. Something's going to happen that's going to flip the series one way or the other. Because right now they're there's evenly matched as it gets. I think the teams are perfectly set up to have battles. Honestly, just banging battles. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm really, really, really excited. I don't see any way it goes 4-2 in either case. Unless a giant injury happens, but I love it. I'm more interested to hear why you have the Lakers at 8.
Oh, they looked, because again, I did my rankings back on, I think it was Sunday we do them. Yesterday, Sunday. But maybe I did them on Saturday. But anyways, the point is that they'd lost to the Blazers. They just didn't look great. And I was like, let me go through all these playoff teams. And I had just 8 teams that were up in their series or that weren't losing their series. And they were, of all the teams, I had them 8th. Now, they looked a lot better the last couple games, obviously, with, Anthony Davis is a machine. I think that, like they're probably going to win tonight wearing the Mamba black, so there's no way they lose this game. They go up 3-1. It's a different story. Next week, my power ranking is going to be a lot different. I still probably am going to have the Celtics at 1 unless they take a beating on Thursday, but I don't think they are. I think they're going to come out and win that first game. Miami's 3-0 against the Pacers. I don't really think the Pacers are anything special without Oladipo, so nothing special there. The Bucks and the Magic, again, the Bucks look so bad that game 1. They're a lot better than probably where I had them ranked, but they just look so bad. I couldn't put them there, And
did they win
Rockets
today?
What's that?
Did the Bucks win today? I know they were.
I don't. When I did my rundown here, it was like in the afternoon, so I'm not sure how the afternoon games went. I do know that again, the big thing, obviously, the Clippers were the team that was supposed to potentially dethrone these Lakers, right? Going out, getting Paul George, and all of a sudden, I actually have another video clip for us, and this happened. Was it yesterday?
Last night.
Finney Smith to inbound. Back to Doncic. Doncic pulls up, 3-pointer. Bang! Bang! It's good! Doncic wins the game at the buzzer!
Superstar.
Bang! Bang!
Man, I've said it before and I'll say it again. If you're starting a team right now and you take Giannis or you take Luka number one over Giannis every time, it's not even a question.
So not just those two and like comparing those two, but I saw a post. I don't remember where, so I can't give the correct person credit. But it was the NBA is trying so hard to market Zion as the face of the NBA, yet Zion has already taken that throne. Like he is the new face of the NBA. Like when LeBron decides to set sail, Luka is that man. I mean, he's already becoming that man. I mean, the things he's doing in this series, the things he's doing in his young NBA career is just bananas. I mean, in this series, he's averaging 32 points, 11 rebounds, and 9.7 assists. That's nuts.
And he's 21.
Against the Clippers, who everybody thought, look at this deep team. You know, Kawhi's not even turned it on yet. They're a surefire team to get to the Western Conference Finals or the Finals. And Luka's got different plans, you know, and Porzingis hasn't been any slouch either, man. They've been fun to watch.
Those two together are a problem.
Oh, yeah.
They're a problem.
And it's not just them. I had mentioned this on another thread to somebody. I said, you know, what the Mavericks need to do to win this series and to continue winning is those role players have to step up, which they have. One of my favorite underrated players is Trey Burke, because I loved him at Michigan. And then he went to the Jazz. He had kind of a disappointing career because he was like a top 15 pick or something like that. Mm-hmm. But he can shoot from deep like nobody's business. And so when you've got Porzingis covered and you've got a double team Luka, it's guys like Trey Burke who got to step up and hit those threes.
Seth Curry.
Seth Curry, yeah.
Dude. It's just Luka's decision making is just it's scary good. I mean, it's scary good. He's able to find guys when he's double and triple teamed, and then yet he's able to know also when to be physical. Like the play at the end of the game where he ties it, where he takes it to the hoop, spins, and then makes that lay. I mean, that's just so good. God, he's good.
Well, the big thing too is he looks like he's having fun. He's having a good time out there.
By the way, the Bucks did win. Yeah, I know. In a timeout, like with 20 seconds left, 30 seconds left, there's a clip of him playing the bottle toss game where he's tossing a bottle, and there's literally it's like a timeout in overtime or like right before overtime. It's like, what are you doing? It's so crazy.
Wayne, you didn't mention it, but that game winner and that entire game last night was played on a bum ankle. I mean, the game before he had rolled his ankle and he couldn't finish the game. I mean, he was frustrated as all get out. So this last game where he put up, you know, this amazing stat line and had that game winning shot, he did that on. It certainly wasn't 100%.
Cortisone's amazing.
Yeah, it sure is.
He felt it later.
Cortisone and tape are wonderful, man. I promise. They can do a lot of things.
If I can momentarily, I know you were kind of questioning Wayne on why he had the Lakers so far down. You know, no KCP or production and no Danny Green production. You know, two guys who really should be able to space out the floor for those guys and hit threes. They just haven't done it so far in the playoffs.
No, I hear. I mean, they've been playing much better. KCP was 4 of 6. You know, and scored, I think it was like 20 the other night. So, I mean, I get it. It may have been the game after Wayne released his rankings. I completely understand that. I really just wanted to know why he had him at 8. You know, I think
his own team.
Yeah, well, not just that. I mean, I do think they're still. I understand they looked bad in that one game, but I mean, they looked really good in game 2. So.
Now, and then, of course, in the NBA, the big news that happened, we had the draft. Oops, wrong one. That's Brandon's crappy rankings there. The big news here is we have the NBA draft lottery. The Timberwolves get the first overall pick. The Warriors get number 2. Hornets, Bulls, Cavs, Hawks, Pistons, Knicks, Wizards, Suns, Spurs, Kings, Pelicans, Celtics. Now, I'm really intrigued to see what the Warriors do at 2. Are they going to keep that pick? Are they going to trade that pick for more veterans? I think they keep it. I do. I think that they draft James Wiseman out of Memphis. He's a 7-foot, modern day center, and that's one position where they don't have we got JaVale McGee. He's with the Lakers, so I don't even know who their starting center is. You could bring in a guy like James Wiseman. He could start right away.
I think they trade it. They're not in a position to have a guy like that and kind of slowly let a guy come in. I mean, even though James Wiseman was, really good at Memphis, that doesn't mean he's ready to step in and take part of a championship-like atmosphere in Golden State. I think they're going to trade it and try and get more assets, whether it be future for when Steph and Clay aren't there, or they may tinker around some more. But I don't know what they're going to do.
Yeah, I think they're kind of in a tough spot. If Giannis gets kind of bounced here in this next series, I think he may leave, and then he's got a shot to go to the Warriors, I think. They'd have to get quite an impressive package, and I don't think number 2 is going to do it. All right, we lost Jesse for a bit. Hopefully he's okay. And we lost, but I agree with you, Wayne. I think James Wiseman is a perfect fit for what they're trying to do. I think he's able to spread the floor enough that, and be a threat that he can, work in that team. And yet he's also still like a dynamic defender and things like that. I think it's a really good fit. Unfortunately there's I think 3 kind of elite prospects, and LaMelo Ball and then Anthony Edwards, I think, being at the top. And I don't think they're going to get Edwards, and I don't think LaMelo fits their team. So I think Wiseman is just the best choice.
I think so. And if they do trade the team, like you're saying, what kind of offer could they make for Giannis? The one I'd seen thrown out there was the number 2 and Andrew Wiggins, at least as a starter, and then probably some, protected picks or something like that thrown in to kind of sweeten the deal. All right. Still there. If I lose you too, I'm doing a solo show. All right, so Sully's frozen up a little bit. He'll let us know when he gets back. That is the NBA draft. The other thing I thought was interesting in the NBA draft was the Celtics at 14. I think that's kind of a cool spot because it is the Grizzlies pick, and the Celtics get another chance to add yet another role player type, player to the team that's going to help out. And I think that I'm interested to see what they all do. So very cool with the NBA draft coming up. I do want to use this opportunity to tell you guys that we are going to have an NBA scout on the show Wednesday. He scouts primarily up in the great north of Canada, and he's going to be giving us some advice on, who he thinks who's going to go where, scouting players, what to look for, what he looks for when he scouts players. So it's going to be a really good interview, I think, on Wednesday with this NBA scout to kind of really dig deep, especially this close to the draft. It's always frozen. He was here for a second. There he is. No? All right. Well, with the NBA done, I did want to get into the NFL. I wanted to kind of check with these guys about their take on the NFL preseason, the competitions. The one that's kicking me in the rear end, because I think everybody knows that I have been pitching since day one that Jarrett Stidham is going to win that starting job and lead the team, and all of a sudden Cam Newton's looking like the Cam Newton of old, and he could end up just taking that spot from Stidham.
Yeah, I don't think Stidham's playing, bro. It doesn't look that way. I mean, unfortunately, so from a lot of the inside, I guess, information is that a lot of the coaches feel like Stidham is milking this injury and he just doesn't want to get out there and compete or something like that. I don't know. I don't know how much truth there is to that. But nonetheless, Cam Newton's going out there and he's performing. And, a team's going to rally around a guy like Cam Newton if he's, kind of playing the way that he does, because, he's a fun guy to play with. He, is electric and he's loud.
Hey, perfect timing, Jesse. Just as Dan freezes up, I get you back.
Yeah, sorry about that, guys. My phone was trying to call 3 different people. It's really on the fritz, so I had to turn it off.
Hey, no worries. We were just talking about, obviously, Cam Newton looks like he's going to win the starting job from Stidham.
Yeah, I mean, I saw a report that, it's nobody's job yet. We know Belichick. He's not going to name somebody until he absolutely needs to. But, we know McDaniels and how he likes to play with toys. So he's never had, a fun toy quarterback like this guy. I know he drafted Tim Tebow back in the day. So it doesn't surprise me that he's going to end up getting those first-team snaps.
Well, I think I'm all in with what Jesse's mom's saying here, which is I've learned to trust Bill. And Bill we trust. I mean, we say it all the time. You can't go to whatever it is, 19 out of 20 division titles or something stupid and be like, well, this is the year, though, that he screwed the team. He doesn't screw the team. He puts you in a position every year.
I mean, you guys not.
So still some technical difficulties with Sully.
It makes me think of a question I heard on the radio, Wayne. Do you think heat waves should be named just like hurricanes are? Heat waves have some high kill counts as well. So,
well, I think they could just name them all Wayne because I am fire.
There's Sully. He's out of here. He's going to
go
to get some pastrami.
I think he's going to grab his modem and get it closer to him. You know what? And I'm kind of sad that he's not.
You can Matt Damon me if you want to do it. I understand.
I was just going to say we're going to have to Matt Damon again because we got to get to the Infinity 5. We got like 9 minutes left in the show. So.
That's understandable. I'm actually really excited about the Infinity 5. So once he gets his act together, this is one of my more favorite ones. And for you fans, I know my mom was watching. I told her about it as I was leaving to come to my buddy's studio. All you friends out there, you've definitely eaten at a fast food joint. And if you haven't, close this right now and don't continue to watch us. But our Infinity 5 is your favorite fast food items.
Well,
and,
of course.
Go ahead, Wayne.
I was like, we have to have a video intro to the Infinity 5.
Oh, let's see it, buddy.
Now don't give me any lip.
It's just a quarter, and look how much more you get.
I said no.
It's just 25 cents.
Hey, listen, guy. He doesn't want it.
I can handle this, Ramathorn. I don't want it.
Right. Beverage?
Give me a liter of cola.
A what?
A liter of cola.
Liter of cola? Do we make liter of cola?
Well, you just order a large farva.
I don't want a large farva. I want a goddamn liter of cola.
I don't know what that is.
Liter is French for give me some fucking cola before I break Moo's fucking leg.
All right, relax.
Can confirm that is the French translation.
And maybe one of my favorite clips in that movie is just the liter of cola. I don't know how many times I say that.
Oh, I love that movie.
Shenanigans, man.
I don't want a large farva.
Just get a large farva. I think
Wait, real quick. So Jesse got Matt Damon again, right?
He did.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yes!
While you were figuring your shit out, Wayne was like, I'm actually mad that he's not here for this, but we're gonna Matt Damon him again. So the Hall of Fame or not segment, it will happen. I'm gonna end up just wearing it as a T-shirt someday. It's my own little personal campaign for us to talk about these guys. So we're gonna skip it and we're gonna jump right into our favorite fast food items. And folks, whether it be Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, or on our website, let us know what your favorite 5 are.
All right. So who wants to go first with their number 5?
I'm going to go first. My number 5 is maybe a little off the wall here. It's the only item like this on my list, and it's the old Dairy Queen Blizzard, baby.
All right.
I like it. I got a Dairy Queen right next to my house. I eat about 16 a week.
Yeah, buddy.
No, I don't, but I like it. My number 1 is the Burger King original chicken sandwich, the long one.
Yep. The oval.
The oval one.
Oh, yeah.
That's my number 5.
We may see that later.
It's the pepperiness of that is.
Oh, it's moist, buddy. It's moist.
Yeah,
don't get me started. It's coming soon.
I like that sandwich for sure. My number 5 is actually a Burger King item as well. I got the onion rings, and I'm gonna tell you something. I hate onions. Hate them. And so when I get my Whopper at Burger King, I'm always like, no onions. Take the onions off. Like, what would you like for a side? Onion rings. The onion rings are so the shit.
Oh, that rodeo burger too, man. And again, if we're
the
doing
rodeo burger's gas,
I'd have thrown the rodeo right on the bottom there. That'd round it out. All
What do
right,
you got,
so my number 4 is that original chicken sandwich from Burger King. It's my mom was actually a manager of Burger King for a short period of time when I was in school, and my brother and I would walk from school down to go see her every day after school. And I probably got that 6 days out of 7. And I love that sandwich. Like Sully said, it's, seasoned to perfection. It's moist when you take a bite. Sometimes they did that Italian version where they threw like the thick piece of cheese and the marinara on it as well. Not my favorite, but that original, baby. That's the best chicken sandwich in the game.
All right. And Sully, how about you? What do you got for 4?
Arby's curly fries.
Okay.
I think they're the best fries in the game. I love them. They're so good. I don't know how Arby's stays in business, but I fucking love their French fries.
So my number 1 fry. Yeah, my number 1 fry, which it didn't make my list. I actually have Wendy's. I like that soggy kind of fry. I don't like the crispy fries.
Like you like day-old fries?
Yeah, I love that. And now I've never been to Chick-fil-A, but I heard the waffle fries are sick at Chick-fil-A.
I missed out yesterday. My buddy Chris and I went to the Nashua Mall here in New Hampshire, and of course, they're not open on Sundays, so missed out on the Chick-fil-A.
Now, I have my number My number 4, yes, is the Subway meatball sub. I always get provolone cheese on it. Yeah, it's great. You cut it in half. It's so easy. Now, I like a lot of Subway subs. My favorite's probably actually the Subway melt because it's got the ham and the turkey and the bacon on it. It's so good. But there's something with the classic meatball. Just a couple meatballs, drizzle some sauce, shake some of the cheese, provolone. Don't put it in the microwave. Just give it to me like that.
If we had a Subway Infinity 5, the meatball would be on there for me as well. And I do some weird shit. And I throw mayonnaise on that meatball sub, but my number. Go ahead.
Mom
Wayne.
actually has a Chalupa Taco Bell amusement park fried dough made into a taco. That's not fast food. You can't get fried dough at a fast food restaurant.
Get out of here. Just disqualified.
That's a technical foul.
You're number 3.
My number 3 here. I'm staying with chicken, and I'm going to actually go to that redhead. I'm going to go with the spicy chicken nuggets over at Wendy's. I get me a 20 piece. I'll get me a 40 piece. But those are the best spicy nuggets in the game.
Yeah, my number 3, I'm gonna stay chicken too, and it's gonna be a theme, baby. The spicy chicken sandwich from Checkers. Those 2 for 3s, baby. That's my shit. It's rallies, I think, to you guys.
We don't even have either of those up here.
You don't have either of those? Oh, you guys are missing out, man. Oh my God, they're so good. Yeah, spicy chicken sandwich from Checkers.
Yeah, nothing spicy for me at all. I have the lowest tolerance of any human being, I think, when it comes to spice, to the point that I'm not even talking spice. Forget chili. I'm saying like pepper. If you put too much pepper on something, I start sweating like Patrick Ewing in the second quarter, just like drenched in sweat.
I have pepper on. If I have at least a tablespoon of pepper in everything I cook.
Wayne thinks mayonnaise is spicy, people. So my number 2 is
nope. Wayne's number 3.
Oh, my bad.
Chill out there, Chief. I did see that your mom had said that the $5 footlong is back. I do know that. Trust me.
Song, yeah.
Subway is the worst sub you could ever eat.
My number 3 is chicken-ish. I actually have KFC coleslaw. I love the coleslaw side. My wife actually picks them up tonight because we had pulled chicken, and we take that coleslaw and slap it on top for the sandwich. So good. It's my favorite coleslaw in the world.
You just went to KFC to buy the coleslaw.
Just to get the coleslaw.
That's classic. I mean, it is one of the best coleslaws out there. So my number 2 here is I'm going to stay with KFC, and it's the famous bowl. Let's get the KFC, the mash, the gravy, the corn. It hits all the Jabis pyramid of food there, so I love it.
My number 2 is shocker, the spicy chicken sandwich from Chick-fil-A. I fucking love chicken sandwiches. They're my favorite thing on the planet. Give me chicken burgers. And I think Chick-fil-A does the best one. The fact that Chick-fil-A doesn't have spicy chicken nuggets is the biggest travesty known to mankind. I don't know who's running their marketing team. You're failing your job.
Now, in the fast food chicken market, the Infinity Sports versus, to be blunt, has got to be Chick-fil-A versus Popeye's chicken sandwich. Have you had both?
Yeah, I've had both. Popeye's doesn't carry the weight. Popeye's entire chicken sandwich is dependent on the sauce they have, and then it can make the sandwich like soggy. And it's Chick-fil-A, it's the breading, and you put nothing on it, and that sandwich is perfect.
Yeah. Well, my number 2 is the Double Whopper. So if there's anything better than a Whopper, it's a Double Whopper. And I remember back in the day, they used to actually cut it in half because you couldn't eat one. They'd slice it in half for you. So they'd wrap it, cut it in half, and then wrap it again. And that's my favorite. I get lettuce, tomato, mayo, hold the onions, but give me some onion rings. And yeah, it's just fantastic. The only downside to the Whopper, and I learned this, Whopper versus Big Mac, I think the Whopper beats it out. But the Big Mac doesn't give you those burps. Like you burp up a Whopper all day long after you eat one. Well, like the Big Mac doesn't give you that.
That's that flame grilledness, brother.
It's delicious.
Yeah.
So my number 1, and it's going to come to no shock, is the Baconator. Give me some patties and some bacon, baby. You know, let's. I don't know who's in charge of their marketing department, but A+.
Mine is the cheesy gordita crunch from Taco Bell. I just think it's the best thing ever made. Yeah. In the history of anything. Honestly, I'll eat 26.
I actually just got some of those and the chalupas a couple days ago.
Yeah, buddy.
They ruined me, though.
Yeah.
Well, my number 1 is going to be the McDonald's 20-piece chicken nugget. It is just so good. and I get the sweet and sour sauce. I always tell them 4 because they're like, "Hey, what do you want for sauce?" I say 4 sweet and sour. So give me fucking 3 because they always give you 3 if you don't ask. Like, give me 4 sweet and sour. Yeah, whatever. It just dip them, just soak them in that sauce, and just so good.
See, I would say I know you don't have a tolerance for hot. I'm telling you, go hot mustard and sweet and sour, bro. It'll change your life. It's so good. It's so good. Yeah, I take a dunk in the hot mustard first, then you dunk it in the sweet and sour, and then that way the sweet and sour is on the outside, and you don't get that hot mustard right on your tongue.
All right. And that is our 5 favorite Infinity Fives, everybody's favorite segment. Just want to kind of close things out a little bit, and these guys will talk about it. Definitely visit the website, everybody. It is up. It is www.infinitysportspodcast.com. Check it out. All of the blogs that I have written, the one that Jesse wrote with me and that Dan will someday write with me, do appear on the blog page of the website. And like I said, there is a store. Support the show. Pick up some Infinity Sports stuff. Pick up the 12 is greater than 9. It's going to be a limited time. I'm going to take them down. We're going to have a new catchphrase, the Matt Damon thing or something like that. But get the 12 is greater than 9 while it's still available.
Absolutely. I can't wait to get me some merchandise with the Infinity Sports logo on there. I'm super proud of the sports and the show in general, but Wayne for putting that website together. Oh, sorry.
Dan was going to say something, but he's just frozen now. So we'll end things off with not with Kenny, but I think we should ask, hey, Mr. Janitor, what do you say?
It's over, buddy. The battle is over.